Hi Aries, here's a general look at your solar chart for February 2012. Now this is a phase, quite a sociable phase actually, but I think you'll be more up for it after the 8th, when Venus comes into your sign. So this is a phase in general until the 19th when friendships and perhaps an involvement in some kind of group, or perhaps it's a formal group or an informal group or an organization or a club, or at least with people who've got an aim in common, is more likely. Or if you already are involved in a group like that, then there's going to be more of an emphasis on it up until the 19th. You could be giving your attention to goals you wish to achieve for quite a while now as well, in fact. And it feels like quite a progressive time, and it could very well be, you know, that your connections, if you connect with the right people, to cultivate people, whether it's in a small way, just in a community or a locality, or in a big way, you know, across, you know, in a networking kind of a way, you could do quite well, particularly from the 8th onwards. So social get-togethers for professional reasons or personal reasons, making new friends, mixing with people who've got a common aim together is more likely, but also this is a time when you can make some progress. You're likely to have more contact with people who work behind the scenes in some sort of a way, particularly in the first week, or just a little bit more than the first week until the 8th. So until the 8th, you might be having to heal or be helping as a support for others more, or just feeling as though you've got to put your personal feelings and preferences on one side and just contribute in some way, which is quite selfless, and also feeling as though you want to keep your feelings to yourself as well, and just in certain situations with certain people. But there might be quite a lot going on inside of you during that first 8 days there. Another way this can work is that a close relationship can be taking root. Maybe you're making a friend, or maybe it's a love relationship. That could be you bonding with somebody, but just very quietly, just very behind the scenes, and also likely to be in these friendly sort of environments behind the scenes, or with a group that works kind of behind the scenes in some sort of cloistered circle in some way. This is definitely a time when you should be looking after yourself, or maybe you've got to look after yourself. Protect your boundaries as well, because this is a time when you can be a little bit more influenced by others, and so you just sense when you've actually got to sort of draw the line and say, well, no, that's not doable for me, if you have to. Also, you might want to be looking at what makes you kick off, what pushes your buttons, because that's more likely at this time as well, although it's not a really real strong thing in your chart at the moment. But overall, I'm mentioning this a little bit more because until July this year, because of where Mars, your ruling planet, is, you're going to have to pay more attention to your health and well-being, because you're going to be in a very service-orientated mood, or have more to do with service providers, or in fact both. So there could be more of a demand on you, to keep to a schedule, to keep the nose to the grindstone in some way, and an emphasis on perhaps health as well until just after mid-year anyway. Now, just in February, fortunately from the 8th onwards, you will have Venus in your sign, making you feel better in your skin, more outgoing, more sociable, more charming and friendly, and others will see you in that way. So maybe see you as quite attractive, actually, with Venus in your sign. Nice time to do something nice for yourself, be a bit more self-indulgent, buy something, go in for an activity which just kind of boosts morale, helps you feel good, and like I say, others will find you more appealing, more attractive. So if there's something you want to if there's people you want to get on side, or something you want to buy or sell, then with Venus in your sign, it's more likely that you can be persuasive and get things how you want them to be. Social interaction will be very emphasized with Venus in your sign. It's going to be, for a lot of the month, in fact most of the month anyway, particularly up until the 19th. But also Venus in your sign means things are lucrative for you, and that's good news for your piggy bank, as well as for your private life as well. But because it allows flow with money, it goes both ways. It can mean that you're shelling out more yourself, so just be aware of that the flow can go both ways. Mercury is in a very sociable area until mid-month, meaning that you can access information, you can get good connections through learning from other people in a kind of in a friendship sort of context or in a group context, and that will be over the wires as well. There's like to be a lot of mental energy from you, because there's maybe demands on you mentally coming from others until mid-month. So you're going to be dedicating your attention, your brain power, to furthering aims through who you know, not what you know, or an organization or a group that work behind the scenes in this cloisters kind of a way. So again, it won't be. It's about how well you can cultivate and capitalize on these contacts. And how you can bond with just that right person who, whatever the reason is, you feel as though you can do business together with that person. And if you're open enough, you can be very inspired to be thinking along different lines. You've got Uranus in your sign these days, and so you need to be experimental. You need to adopt a "we'll see how it goes" attitude. And if something isn't working, be ready to change, especially when it's related to your health. Then from mid-month, certain things may seem up in the air or uncertain. For a little while there, your mind becomes more introspective. You start wondering about things. Your intuition could increase then, but also you might be looking for an intuitive guide there as well. So it's a great time to touch base with your higher self, your intuitive self, or somebody you know that can guide you in that way, and somebody you trust as well, because illusion and delusion can be happening with Mercury there. But you can find yourself thinking more imaginatively, more intuitively, listening to your dreams more, and being just a little preoccupied, maybe zoning out whilst in the middle of a conversation, or losing your place in the plot or something, because the pull is to your inner world. You might be thinking about the past as well, so you might want to be looking at any emotional stresses that always help make you fall down the same old hole in the road during that time there. For several months to come, being somebody providing a service, being more of service yourself, working harder is more likely for you Arians. Having more to do with service providers or helpers, but also medicos, therapists, therapies yourself. This can be a very productive time. It's a very energetic time. It's got a lot of demand on your energy, but it can be draining if you don't keep it under control, this energy. Mars can be very feisty as well. You can get all hot under the collar about things that are going on related to your daily job, your employment, your daily chores, the tasks you've got to do, the people you've got to work with. And there can be sort of like inner conflicts going on, so just be aware of that so that you can balance it out by kind of offsetting things by doing something which is going to put it all in perspective, you see. Methodologies, there may be a dispute about those, or about the way to treat a health problem. Might be yours, might be somebody else's. About training, about skills, maybe you get into learning new skills. In fact, this would be a very good time for you to do so. It might not be about health at all. Now, this month, and up until April, Mars is actually going to be going retrograde, which means that you should conserve your energy as much as possible, look for small gains, but be quite humble in your expectations, and look after business, look after basic stuff. It's about, survival level ticking over. And then when April arrives, you should begin to recharge and start to gain ground and see results, particularly if you've gotten rid of some clutter and maybe some bad habits in the time now and in March. Now, I did say that this is going to be a progressive month in the light of where Mars is. It will be, there will be just general push forwards for you. Overall, this long transit of Mars means you won't want to twiddle your thumbs. You want to make sure that there is a worthy focus for your energy. The thing about Mars is it likes to be in the lead. It likes to initiate. It's very motivating. And so you might not want to wait around for others to kind of give you the order, or to give you the invitation, or to give you the suggestion or the advice, or you might want to just start doing something for yourself. Either, as a kind of a pastime on the side, or something that you're doing parallel with your main work, or maybe it's something within your main work that you're starting to do. You're starting to take the initiative on, you see. Where work or health is concerned, it's advisable not to wait for others. As I say, if it's been regularly going wrong or tiring you out, on the practical level of things, is just to take the, get in the driving seat and start doing things for yourself, and then that will, make you feel more empowered and assist with the smoother running of things for yourself. Or maybe it's not for yourself at all, maybe it's for somebody else. But definitely getting into a skill or a pursuit or an activity which is almost like therapy for you in a way, because it's your thing. Right. Now, from the 19th, you could be beavering away more in the background, getting something ready, or making yourself available for others more. And I'm not going to mention the slower moving planets. You can go to my website to read those, or to listen to my forecast I did for the whole of 2012, which I go into what the slower moving planets are up to in your solar chart. But I am going to mention Neptune, which is one of the slower moving planets, because Neptune is making a big move this month. Since 1998, Neptune has been in an area of your solar chart which is very sociable, and very progressive, and very sort of experimental and a little bit odd and unconventional, and maybe sort of bohemian. So maybe you would have been hanging out with bohemian types, or people who are just unusual in some ways. So maybe healers, psychics, artists, groups that are working towards some kind of kindred spirits working together for some reason. They don't have to be unconventional, they're just a group. Might be to do with charitable work, might be people who are working in an altruistic kind of way, might have been more one group over this very, very long time since 1998. Now, the flip side of that would have been that you might have been confused or sort of led astray even by the influences coming at you through friends, or the kind of the group that you were hanging out with, the club. So all of that stuff going on and leading you, tempting you into things which are basically not good for you at all. And very much a sort of special group in its own little bubble. Now then, what I'm trying to say is that this month, February the 4th, Neptune finally moves away from that area of your chart, bringing clarity, getting things in perspective, and then for many a long year, until 2025 actually, Neptune is going to be in another area, which means that you get more pulled into situations where you have to behave selflessly. It is actually the area of higher service and of kind of paying off karmic dues, if you like to see it like that. Maybe not to see it like that, but maybe just getting over your small self and actually stepping and inhabiting more into your eternal self, as much as you can. So some of you will be getting interested in yoga and meditation, working in a charitable way, in a supportive way behind the scenes, in a spiritual way, in an artistic way, having more psychic experiences, more powerful dreams possibly. But there's many years. Now, you Arians born in the first day, or the first day or two, will feel this energy. And you Arians born on the last day as well, or with 1 to 2 degrees, up to 2 degrees of Aries rising will feel the energy mostly this month. And as I say, you can hear the rest of what's happening over the month if you go to my website. And that's it. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, you might like to listen to that too. And I will see you the next time. Bye for now.